Hello and welcome to this episode of Drawn to the Word. And today we are looking at the story where the disciples come to Jesus and ask Jesus who among them is going to be the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And I've drawn several pictures of children walking holding Jesus' hand. And as we hear this story, you can take a look at some of these images of children as I've depicted them. And the story goes like this. It says, "At that time the disciples came to Jesus and asked him, 'Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?' And in order to answer this, Jesus called on a child from the crowd. And he put the child among them and said, 'Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven.' And he goes on to say, 'Whoever humbles himself and becomes like a child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. But whoever welcomes one such child in my name welcomes me.'" Isn't that interesting? Here's another sketch I've done. I've taken the children and put them all around Jesus as they are walking on this path towards a village. And each of these children carry a different posture and level of comfort. And my hope is that each of them would look like they are walking in joy and without a feeling of anxiety or a feeling of rejection, but rather a feeling of acceptance. It's interesting because the Bible tells us that the kingdom of God is shown in this world in the things that are the weakest. And children, both in Jesus' day and today in our society, are among the weakest in our world. And here it is that we see the kingdom of God through a child. Here's a painting that I have done that depicts a child looking up into the arms of Jesus, who is holding this lamb. The lamb perhaps indicating how this good shepherd would hold and care for even a little child. I've taken these sketches and I put them together into a watercolor painting, where here we have Jesus walking on the shore, holding the hand of a child. But again, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? Jesus calls forth a child. Think about that image of a child. "Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Whoever humbles himself and becomes like this little child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Whoever welcomes one such child in my name welcomes me."